Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here, we built out some suburbs by our mega mall. And I think that we did a good job at trying to really lower the super high residential demand that we had. Now we still have a lot of residential demand that we'll still be tackling today, but I'm looking forward to sharing what we have going on in today's episode because we will be building along the waterfront in Oracle Bay, an area that we've left for too long. So, bit of housekeeping notes while we're at it. There are 3 more episodes scheduled before the launch of City Skylines 2. So if you're watching this on the day of, which is Friday the 13th, ooh, spooky. There are 2 more episodes on the 17th and the 20th. The 20th might be a live stream, but speaking of live streams, have you heard that the Skyline 6 is doing a charity live stream on Halloween? So there'll be 5 of us from the Skyline 6 doing the charity live stream, 2 hours each. Look for more news and notes on that because holy cow, I am so excited to do a multiplayer charity live stream in City Skylines 2. So let's hop out and take a look at what we'll be doing today in Oracle Valley. So here we are out in Beaconsfield, where last time we kind of just threw down a ton of residential, a couple sports fields, got a little strip mall over here, a big grocery store as well. But we kind of filled along the waterfront, and that's been a theme that we've been doing for the last little while. Just ignore the cruise ship mitosis happening over there, holy cow. But we recently have been building up this town here along the waterfront, and then we've also been doing downtown waterfronts recently as well. That is a lot of cruise ships, my goodness. So if you've been kind of catching on, we've been doing a lot of waterfront stuff lately, and that's because I wanted to get the waterfront stuff done before City Skylines 2. This is the last of the waterfront area left, so we're going to be focusing in here today. Maybe next time we'll kind of focus out in this area a little bit, just so we can kind of finish off the waterfront aspects to the build, but I'm not 100% sure what we'll be doing the next 2 episodes, but I do know what we're doing in today's episode, specifically building out in this pocket here. I want to use some unique factories, and we have a ton of space for residential. For the episode, I was able to place down the stream, which starts from over here. I would imagine that in the winter or in the spring, the snow melt in the mountains would come down through here. So I wanted to make sure that we got a bit of a river running through here so we can detail this area up as well. Now I also added in before the episode some trains. Now I probably should have added a bypass here because we clogged up already, my goodness. But I just wanted to throw down 2 train stations through here because we are going to be building unique factories and we're going to be using ore and forestry goods. And my goodness, I should have put a bypass in. Let's fix this really quickly. All right, hopefully that's all that's needed to really make the fix happen there. But yeah, so we are doing that so that we can get some goods shipped in to this area over here because we have 2 cargo stations nearby. We have one right here and then one right here. I don't think we'll be able to squeeze one in directly nearby where we're planning on putting in the unique factories, but that's okay because we have some pretty good road networks through here as well. So what's going on through here? Well, we have the bakery over here, which is pretty cool. We're importing stuff directly from over here, just down this main street here. It's a little slow of a street. I think we might need to improve the speed limit on this road. Now, this is a tram road, so we need to play with that. Maybe we can get a secondary road connection in here. So this is a brick building. This was one of the things I wanted to kind of do through here, is to have these brick buildings, because I feel like the brick unique factories play really well together, and particularly because we have the Brooklyn and Queens and the industrial DLC out this way as well. So these buildings are a little too tall. We're going to need to take those down a little bit. So let's look at the unique factories we're going to place down because we're going to be specifically focusing on this peninsula for them, because I feel like we could get it to look like old wharfs and warehouses along the water's front. So I think we're gonna go with the printing press and the toy factory. Now the toy factory I think would look really well or really good right against this here. So obviously we're gonna have a bit of terrain clipping, but that's okay. Mainly because I like the look of the back of this building along the waterfront, and how the docking bay is, like for the shipping, goods and receiving area. But then if we go to the printing press, which is the other brick building, we'll just plop it down right here, and then we're gonna move it. Don't worry. We move it out to, maybe we can play with the same kind of clipping, like right here. We line it up so that it looks at least planned. Get it to the same height. Yeah, now what we do now, now what we have is we have the meerkat press symbol looking out over the water, which seems like a proper place for advertising, but there's no entry or exit point along the back side of this building at all, only in the front, and the shipping and receiving area is right dead center of the area. So I'm thinking that this could work out really well. If we were to put this one on the back, it would also work, but I like the idea of having this kind of like lawn space here. Anyways. Ooh, but then we get the toy duck looking down the street. That's kind of fun. Let's flip them around and see what looks better. All right, we went back to the original plan. I think this is probably just the best plan here. So let's make sure that both of these are at the same height as this intersection here. That's probably the best bet. Whoops, I don't think I selected this one. Same height as that, please. And then also both of these need to be the same height as that. We just need some arbitrary height for that, but it looks like we're doing pretty good. Let's grab this road. Actually, let's make it an industrial road. That's a little bit more thematic, isn't it? And then if we just were to get a road in right here and connect it up, that would be awesome. So let's bring this node out a little bit to about there. And then we bring an industrial road right out like this, right to the water's edge. And then we're just going to need to adjust that height there. And then obviously the clipping, we want to make sure that it looks even all the way through. All right, so now that we got these in, let's figure out what we need, because we're going to need to get warehouses through here. Now this is a bit of a tough intersection, so we're going to need to watch out for that and change up some lanes and stuff. But the toy factory needs paper, plain timber, and plastics. We are shipping plastics over in here, and paper and plain timber. So paper and plastics. So it looks like we're doubling up on paper and plastics. So we need to take that into account when we're planning out our warehouses. So if we were to go to our warehouses, we have, say, the medium warehouse. This one could be good to place down and have this one be either plastics or paper, whichever ones had two both a shared resource. That's the word. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna place this warehouse right along the waterfront here. We're gonna connect the building as much as we can. Actually, I think we're gonna need to leave an alleyway between them. Is that enough to get some sort of maintenance vehicle by? Let's go a bit further then. Nice. And is this lined up? I think that would make sense if these were to be lined up. Awesome, awesome, okay. And then let's make sure they're at the same height. Sweet. And then we'll just connect this up right here. Whoops. Holy cow. There we go, back to the same height. And then we'll just pull it back so we have some sort of semblance of the same design all the way through. And there we go. So we don't necessarily need a road here, but it does look nice with the duck. So we gotta make sure we play that into account at least as well. All right, let's get this to the same height. And now we need to look at getting in maybe another one of these larger warehouses. Now this one doesn't necessarily have to be right there. It can be somewhere a bit closer, nearby, but not exactly there. We could get it over in this zone and then just have the trucks ship things over this bridge, which isn't ideal, but maybe we could make it a larger size bridge. All right, so we need the paper and the plastics. So I think we're gonna put plastics over here for no reason at all, but I think I'm gonna keep it on balanced. I think that makes sense. And then we'll do the same thing, balanced and paper. So the only thing we need is planed timber. So while we actually are already storing it over here, I just want to get another kind of a warehouse just nearby, just to make sure that we have that extra amount that we will need. So I'm going to use just the small one for a few reasons, mainly because it fits really nicely in these pockets. It has a huge hitbox for a warehouse, so I think that it kind of can be played pretty much anywhere you really need. It's very flexible in that regard. So just like this, we've kind of co-opted this whole area here, but we have the entrance on this side, but it looks like it actually can enter and exit on both sides here. So this one will keep on balanced as well, and it will be for planed timber. So very, very good. Looks like we need to work on some of the building spawn points here. We have a ton of trucks coming in and out of here. So I'm just going to pull this back into the actual building itself. And then this one as well, I think I'm going to do that as well. Looks like it's on this side here, which is a little interesting. I would imagine that the spawn points should actually be over here for the trucks. It looks like this is the like the shipping and receiving section, so it would just make sense to do that there. We'll move these all around just because we are playing it a little realistic with the building, with the spawn points here. So it's a little tight, it's a little cornered. I think we need to just change things up slightly. So I think we're gonna go with a industrial road again, but we'll go with a 4-lane one. And we'll do that right through here. And we don't really need that there. We'll just do a normal industrial road there. But we have a bit more space in here. Now I don't necessarily think that either of these factories will get many visitors. But I still think we could place down a parking lot here that would help support both of these for workers, for example. And maybe the parking lots in the front here are for the people who are visiting the factory. So let's get a parking lot here. And then in this zone, I think we're just going to fill it up with some industry. And I think we're going to leave this one as a normal road. I think that makes sense to do. All right, so we have this little warehouse area in here, and I really like it. I like all the bricks, and plus the continuity between this warehouse and this warehouse kind of work, which is pretty cool. And the things seem to be flowing pretty well here as well. There's always like an initial surge, but I think we can put it to the test by blasting these up to 150%. Let's make some bank, and now let's move a little bit adjacent here and work in this area just to fill it out, finish it off. What do we need to do? Well, this seems to be getting a bit of an issue, not enough fish. Bit frustrating when that happens, so let's talk about maybe getting in a bit more fishing lanes. Now we already have a ton in here for just like it being a bay, but I think we can do something about that. And if we go into our fish view, which is right here, we can see that we have a bit of a pocket of salmon. So maybe we could get that to change things up a little bit, but otherwise we're still dealing with anchovy the whole time. Now I think this is just fish harbor. Yeah. And then this one is anchovy. Okay, so let's try and get a bit of a variety in here and just fill out this area with some fishing. All right, so this little section is now complete, and we have our little salmon harbor in here with some seaweed, I think. I like the piers on this one. We have an abandoned pier that they haven't removed, but then we also have this cool new quay wall area where we have some very steep stairs going down to here. But I think this area looks really, really cool, and we're getting way too tall of buildings in here. I'm going to need to go through there after and double check on everything, but I wanted to see if we would have 100% salmon capacity. 94. Okay, that's pretty darn good. There's very little salmon in this area anyways, but yeah, I'm actually really pleased with this area, how this area has turned out. So let's move on down the little section here to this area here. We already have what we need through here, which is fantastic, so we're just going to look to develop it really. So we have this in place. The only thing we really need to deal with is this kind of warehouse. It's a bit lost. It doesn't really have a place yet. We could easily just slot it in right here, and I think we'll do that. Why not? Not everything needs to be super, super complicated. I think this is a pretty easy and obvious solution for us. All right, so let's just kind of fill this area out a little bit. I don't really have the same kind of concept like we did right here for this area. So let's see if there's maybe a few things that we could add in. I'm worried about the traffic though. The traffic is definitely a concern. So I think we need to expand this road out into here. That's going to really help with some of the traffic going out over in this direction. But yeah, let's work on the grid, I guess. I think that's probably the best bet for the next step. All right, so I decided on putting in the food factory out this way. Since we have a bakery out here, I thought it was pretty cool. We were using some of the same resources like flour and animal products, which we're storing in here. Yeah, open air flour storage sounds good. Open air animal product storage sounds healthy. Then we have our crops over here. So, oh, doesn't need crops. But since we're bringing in plastics anyways for this area, which is over here, but we have paper on this side, which we need. So I think all in all, these warehouses are kind of doing a bit of double duty, which is fantastic. So a few things we're going to need to do over here. I'm just going to scooch this right up against the warehouse because it feels like this little bit of an awkward space. I think all we need is enough space to get a service truck in there if need be. So I think we're good like that. Let's set it to the same height. And looking at the back side of the building here, we have one access door. So we need to make sure that we have at least something there. And then we have this parking lot over here, which looks like it's for employees. But I was thinking we could drag in a road connection probably right here across. So let's use an industry road. And we will bring this one out to about here. Let's click home. And then we can bring this one right along the entire backside of this area, should we wish. So I'm thinking we use the 1 unit version of this road. It's a bit smaller. So we can bring this right to about here. Let's click home. So we're at the same height again. Never mind, it didn't work. And then we go to that height. All right, so we have this road in right behind here. And then I'm just going to run in a sneaky path right here, just so that people can technically walk that into this back little corner here. But I was thinking what we could do is just fill in the land here, utilize this for a parking lot, and then put in an employee parking lot back over here along the waterfront. That's a very unfortunate realistic thing that happens with these industrialized waterfronts, that the actual waterfront itself has been expanded and is a parking lot. I mean, there's rejuvenation of those waterfronts, which we've done in the past. So why not make a realistic waterfront in that sense? I think this road's a bit strange right now. Let's try and line this up with the same height on this side. All right, so here we go. We have the food factory in here now, and it seems to be doing okay. And I really like this. This is working out really well. I might remove this road just for the sake of things. Change things up a little bit. Plus, then we have a good framing of that Herman's sign right in there. And as a result, I think we might make this area a bit of a park. It's seems like a good spot for one. We could even go with something like the Sidewalk Cafe or the Sidewalk Restaurant in here to help kind of fill the gap on this side, and then make this part a park. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea here. I really like these assets a lot, as you can probably tell if you've watched my other videos. We definitely use this asset quite a bit. And then this one will fit perfectly right there, like that. Okay, so I think that's the right selection too for that building. So we will just leave it. And I know we have a lot of lights on here. I will change that. And I like how we have the width of the road changing here too. It goes to show that the city couldn't remove this building for historical reasons or something like that. All right. So now that we've accomplished the goal of getting this built out with industry, I really like it. There's a bit of detailing that needs to be done, that is for sure, but I think the concept is there. It's really good. We just need to kind of figure out how we're going to blend these areas together. So I put a bunch of rocks over here to separate the difference in the key walls that we've been using. What I'm thinking we do is blend this area with a bit of a beach and kind of continue with the same kind of theme with Prattsburg out into this little pocket here, and then we'll figure out how to blend this together after that. Now, there was a quick little suggestion here with the ferry here, and that was to actually bring in a proper bus hub here to kind of blend the two together, and even bring in the tram this way. So we do have a few tram lines. We have a tram line right here, which literally just runs from this pocket into our monorail station over here. Monorail bus station combo over here. And that's it. So I'm thinking what we do is bring that line down across into here. I think that's a good solution, because we have this line over here, which goes from Prattsburg Station all the way through into Port Roberts Station. So that's kind of the connection point. There's a bit of a crossover at some point, but I was thinking if we bring this one down and across, I think that would be a good solid connection piece. Now, right now we have this turning around right here on a bit of a tram loop. What we could do is bring it down on this road altogether, and then turn it off at this road into its own kind of pathway, and I think that would be a really cool concept. Let's see if we can actually do it. We don't necessarily need this to be a dedicated bus road either. All right, so we have our little area in here now with the ferry terminal, and I've moved all the buses through here now too. They all still will turn around off this cul-de-sac, but this came from a suggestion a long time ago. We freed up a little space over here, which is perfect for, say, a condo or something like that. So I think we can easily just slide something in just right there. We need to change up this road now that we've changed things up in this area, so let's just quickly do something like that. That should be good. All the buses kind of are doing their own thing now. Should be working fine and dandy. I'll just pop it up on screen for you so you can see what the revision is like through here. Tons and tons of bus routes going through here up into these areas as well. But I think the main focus was getting in these cool condo buildings in here. I'm going to let these ones level up a little bit, but this is a beautiful area with such great scenery that this has to be condos. There's no other way around it, to be honest. But looks like we're having a bit of an issue with paper. Okay, so I'm just going to throw in another building. Oh, and fish again. I'm just going to throw in another building for paper production out this way. I'm not really caring too much about how the industry areas look, to be honest. We've done a ton of industry area builds in the past, so yeah, I've just kind of foregone it for the time being. One day we will come back to them for sure to make them look a little nicer. But we're just going to end today's video off with kind of filling out this area here. We'll fill up this area and then we'll detail the creek just kind of up in this zone through here. So I've brought in a few of the districts as well. For looking at the districts, we have this one, which is our Brooklyn and Queens area. So this is Upper Bay. I just brought this district style in, really, but this whole area is Victoria Creek after the Victoria Creek. Here's Victoria Beach, but I brought in Prattsburg Waterfront in here, and then maybe we'll bring in a bit of the industry area into this little pocket. Actually, I think that will be pretty cool. But Victoria Creek doesn't have anything on it right now. I'm thinking about making it European suburbia to kind of show like a bit of an older suburb aspect to this area. And I think that's what we're gonna do. But let's think about zoning up now. I think this area is going to be kind of the central hub for any services. We're going to need a school out this way, maybe even a high school, even though we have one right here, because this high school is full. But if we go to our high school demand, we have just a ton in the area. Yeah, because there's no high school out this way, and we're just going to add more into Upper Bay. So I think we're going to need to deal with another high school. So tons and tons of things going in here. Let's start at the top. Do we have post office? I think we do, because I think I moved that a little bit earlier. Yeah, we have a post office there, but we could totally get another one. Actually, I think we're post officed out. we're pretty good. Oh, and we're missing something over here. Paper. Okay, so hopefully the paper gets sorted out soon. That's plastics. This is paper. It's unbalanced. Yeah, okay. Maybe we put paper on empty. Okay, so let's check garbage. Is garbage good? Garbage is actually pretty good in this area. I was thinking about maybe sneaking a few little things out this way that would help out a little bit, like a little bit of a recycling center out in this little pocket. We have nothing over here, so why don't we do a small little recycling center. And then I actually had another idea for this area, just to throw in another factory. So I think we could probably do that as well if we have time today. But if not, it's okay. It's not a necessary thing at all. We've already done 3 factories today. But just a couple of recycling centers right here and here. I think that should definitely help everything out. Just gonna throw in some trees to help it blend in a little bit. And then we got to go into healthcare. We don't have a hospital out this way, but is healthcare doing okay? Healthcare is doing pretty decent. This is obviously a gray area through here. That makes sense. We could get a hospital kind of in this zone. but I'd rather use the space to eat up some of our residential demand. So I think we're just going to go with a classic, very simple hospital, or sorry, clinic, and we'll go more in the residential area. Yeah, how about right here? That makes sense. And then we need death care. I don't think death care is doing too good out this way. So why don't we make a bit of a death care area right here? We'll say that this is like a historic cemetery out this way, which is why there's a bit of issue with like the road type changes and stuff like that. I think if we do something like this, this would be pretty neat. All right, very cool. That's definitely helpful. I think we can just clean it up a little bit by just removing some of the terrain areas around it. Definitely just kind of buffing it out a little bit. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that idea. Oh, and the tunnel for the tram. I don't think I talked about that. Yeah, I think this is just a good idea to avoid these busy intersections. It's a bit steep right here. I forgot to slope that. I just like using the network multi-tool. It is definitely my favorite mod for road types in the game, that's for sure. 1.5% is actually really good. I think we could probably bring it down into there and slope it like that. Wow, that's fantastic. Holy cow. Okay. So, that was death care. Do we need childcare at all in this area? Wow, yeah, there is no childcare out this way. Okay, so I think we can definitely get that. Where would it be most beneficial? On this side or on this side? Probably on this side because we have a ton of high density, versus if we were to put it on this side, we're leaning a bit more into the lower density. So it would be more beneficial for us to have the childcare out on this side. Okay, and then elder care as well. I'm assuming we're going to be in the same boat here. Oh, no, we have an elder care out that way. So we could totally get one out over here. Yeah, that's nice. Actually, I'm going to move this. I think it would be better on this side. Yeah, it also fills that whole area out. And then what I like doing with the elder care facilities is running a pathway right behind them. So we're going to go with the zoo path without decorations, changing it up here, and just run a path just like that the whole way. I'm actually just going to slightly move it over so that we don't have any clipping against the tiles on the back side of the elder care facility. Okay, now we can add in other kind of features like a community pool or something like that. This is a good idea to kind of add in. The community pool is rather expensive for what it is, so I like to add in the sauna instead. The sauna kind of fits in most builds. It just looks like a typical house, but I like putting them on the main kind of streets of the area. I think they're pretty cool. We could actually put it right in here and make it like a historical building or something like that, but I think that's okay. So firehouse. We should probably have those in this area, right? I don't believe our fire coverage is particularly good in this area. Yeah, not even very good over here. So we could even go with like a large firehouse campus kind of thing. We could put it right in this kind of area. That makes sense because we have the tunnel, which isn't desirable land. So we could have like an old firehouse hall right here. I opted for 2 different firehouses. This one is more in this area to help service Pratsburg, whereas this one's a bit more in the heart of Victoria. So we have some disaster stuff. That would be cool to kind of include. We could add in like a radio mast or something like that. And I think this would be a good kind of area for this. So why don't we plop it down kind of like right in here? That'd be cool. And then we just kind of get it to the same height as that. And then we just back it up a little bit so it's just right there. And yeah, that's really neat. Helps service the area a little bit. And then we don't really need anything else out this way. But we're at police. We already have a bank. It's right over here, so we don't need to change anything there. And I thought this was a different type of zoning. So we'll remove that. And I don't think we necessarily need zoning here. I just thought if we had an extra slot here, that would have been nice. But yeah, I guess not. That's fine too. That's fine too. And we'll just kind of clean things up a little bit with a bit of a pathway. All right, so what other services do we need? Well, police, like I mentioned. Let's check if we actually need police out this way. Okay, we have one police station here, one police station here. I think we can do something similar with this side, and what we can do is we can get a police station out by the tram. We could plop this down right here. I know it's on a cul-de-sac, but again, it's not the most desirable of land. We also have a helicopter landing potential, which could be interesting to kind of include, right? So let's throw in a couple of these trees to make things look a little bit nicer. And I guess the cars come from underneath here and then slide into this area. So we're good there, but let's just include a small little parking lot. I'm just going to use the easily ploppable parking lots that we got with the vanilla game. Yeah, just like that. Right there is perfect. That's all we really need. Okay, so let's fill this area in a little bit with some trees. And we're talking about the next step, which is education. Like, really spawned the whole debate over here. So we have one elementary school, which is likely full, if I would imagine so. Let's see if we can look at that. Yeah, it is pretty full. So we can get another elementary school out this way for sure. Let's go maybe with the old style. How about that? And maybe this is over here. No, not on the main street like that. But we could get it on this secondary main street. I think I would be okay with that. We can plop it right there. And I don't love how these buildings actually have their hedges. So I'm just gonna take it out actually. And maybe we're gonna go, we could go with a high capacity elementary school. No, it's a bit too big. Okay, we're gonna go with this one right here. All right, so we got that elementary school in there. We might actually need to throw in another one, but we do have two elementary schools over here, which should be good. The high school is the one that I was worried about. That's libraries. Here's high schools. Because even though we have one right here, we don't have any more out this way. So I think we really actually need to get another one. And I think we're just going to go with the high capacity, or sorry, the smaller high school right over here. We're going to slide this one in right there. So it's on a bit of a hill. I do like trying to squeeze in some sort of sport in the area. Okay, it's nothing fancy, but we got a high school in here. And it's probably already full, to be honest, because, yeah, it's half full. We really needed that over here. But what is next down the line? Well, I think it's the library. We don't need a university. We have a university campus right here. We do need a library. And yeah, we definitely need one. We have one over here. We don't have one in Dipsy Doodle, so I think we can definitely get one in. And maybe this is what the building is over here. Maybe this building right here is the reason why they couldn't widen the road the entire way through here. Now I'm thinking of actually moving the child healthcare center maybe right here. Why not? And then maybe we can kind of detail this up with some parks and stuff like that. That'd be cool. Because it's such a awkward spot on a hill and stuff like that, it does change things a little bit. So let's smooth things out. Maybe start with leveling out the hitbox. Okay, very good. And we don't necessarily need to utilize actual parks, but it does help if we can include like one of these right here. Yeah, that's actually really good. All right, so we have our brick library to kind of tie in the themes of brick all throughout, which is cool. But I think we're kind of getting to the point of the episode where we're going to start filling things out with zoning. So I knew this was industry, so I was doing that there. I think maybe we could easily just get some simple commercial through here. Probably going to get a pathway right there, kind of continuing the grid style through there, through this area. So let's go with the zoo path with decorations. Always an easy bet to use. And then probably, I guess we should probably continue with some high density out this way. Is this in the zoning? No, let's bring this through here. That would be helpful. And then maybe even just like one little pocket of whatever the commercial district we have out here is, which I believe is leisure, with Prattsburg Waterfront. So that'll help change up the styles a little bit. And then let's just simply choose a couple zone blocks like this, leaving a gap every now and then. Find that very, very nice to do. And then why don't we do a double and then a single, see what pops up there. I'm okay with that. We could even throw that in right there too. Very cool. Okay, so we'll see what comes in. But otherwise, actually, let's maybe turn zoning off of this road. And then I think we might get a bit better commercial buildings coming in right there. But I think the rest of this, we're just going to throw in some more roads, zone it up, and then we'll talk about the park. All right, so Victoria Hills? Yeah, that's the name. Victoria Hills is filling out. And I really like this town. I think it's a good blend of the zonings and stuff like that. I really like doing that in City Skylines, blending things together, blending in the beaches and the buildings, and blending in the zoning with different types of projects. And I think all in all, I think this is going to look really, really good. So all that's really left to do in today's kind of build is detail up the waterfront itself. Not much to it, just kind of like we did over here with this creek here. So just tons of vegetation inside of it. But I'm thinking that's kind of what we're going to do. And I'll wait for everything to zone up while we're doing that. And then we'll take one last recap. All right, and with that, I think we have completed Victoria Heights or Victoria Hills. And I really like the river here. The river plays really well into this area. We're still missing a bit of zoning here, but that's okay. I like the mix of the many different kinds of zoning that we have. We have the European suburbia. We have the typical vanilla zoning. We also have the Brooklyn and Queens. We have the industrial DLC. And I really, really like these two areas a lot. I like how we're playing in the brick theme through here with all the buildings, like the Brooklyn and Queens stuff, the library itself. We got a radio tower. We got new condos coming in, a high school, tons and tons of things. It really ties this area together looking at it from over here and whatnot. Yeah, I really like this. This pocket of high density is really, really cool. But with that, folks, we are going to call it today. I hope you had a wonderful day, folks. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace out.